And this is his book. We might read another one tonight, eh?
But you said I could choose.
This is what he wears on top. He's funny, don't you think? See him in your room at night?
Mum, does it hurt the boy? Mum, does it live under the bed? Mum? Mummy! 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 She wouldn't believe me! Mummy! 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 Mummy!
Just be normal! There is no Babadook!
Get out! Get out!
Samuel!
Mummy!
Stop this now!
Get out! Get out! Get
Please help me! There's something wrong with my son.
Do you subscribe to the theory that we're in Satan's little season, that the apocalypse technically already happened and what we've been living through is Satan's rule, and that we're actually coming to the end of that period, and that I think it was like something like 1,000 years was actually shaved off the dates initially in an effort to kind of set everybody back cosmically, and that could be why we're being thrown out of balance right now, is as we're awakening, the clock is wrong, and that in turn with our internal selves and spiritual selves and physical selves, that's becoming a bit of a problem, and people aren't able to handle the reality of that.
Dude, it just got really fucking cold in here, and I have super fucking chills right now.
Pissing off demons, Larry. Pissing off demons.
Yeah, well, when I was 14, I had a lucid dream, and I was in a bar sitting next to this average looking Joe, and he orders me a beer, and I said, I'm not old enough. He says, you're old enough here. And he put down a schooner of beer. I had no idea what a schooner was.
What's a schooner?
A big 32-ounce fistful of beer, right?
Oh.
And chilled glass type thing. So he says, might as well start drinking now. He says, you're going to drink a shitload during your life. And I said, oh, really? How do you know that? He says, I know. And he opens up this book, and I take a sip of beer. And I'd never had beer before. And I distinctly remember the taste, and I didn't really care for it. Had a backwash kind of taste at the end. It wasn't my deal. I didn't really care for it. And he said, you will. And he opens up this picture book, unfolds it, and it's a photo album. And it has pictures of lakes of fire, of faces melted into faces, into faces, into faces of burning and torment, and essentially pictures of hell. And he would look at it and touch the picture with his finger, and as he touch it, it would move like a little movie projector.
Like kind of like a painting, like when you're in an acid trip, kind of just shifting around.
No, the pictures would come to life, not life, but within the pictures, it was like the Indian, like a video of it. It's like the Indians say, when you take a picture, you capture a piece of the soul.
Yeah.
Well, this would be the pieces of the soul that were captured in these pictures. And he points from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And he's showing me all these horrid pictures of hell and torment and people suffering and agony and just despair like nothing I'd ever seen. It was horrible. And I said, he says, "You're going there." And I said, "No, I'm not. You'll never get me." Tyler, he looked at me, closed his book up, slammed it down on the table, on the bar table. And he goes like, he says, "I've already got you." And he goes, raised his arms. And as he did, he turned into the black winged demon, tail, horns, classic devil, and flew off. And I woke up in a pool of sweat, screaming, terrified, because I knew it wasn't a dream. I knew that shit just fucking happened. And so, yeah, I've already got you. And right after that was haunting, really, you know, it escalated hard. Oh, not to mention, at that time, I was in a house that was formerly a witch's coven. Yeah, the door was still painted black and whatnot. And they did lots of ceremonies in there. They had elementals that they'd created to help do their spells and whatnot. The elemental would chase me around, give me nightmares, and I'd wake up and there'd be the big giant floating head above me watching me, and you know, um, nightmares of being wrapped in plastic and buried alive, wrapped in bisqueen, buried alive, wrapped in plastic, buried alive. You know,
How
you
old
got to
were you at this
remember
point?
this is, huh?
How old were you at this
I
point?
was about 13, 14,
Jesus, man.
freshman in high school. Yeah,
Fuck.
freshman in high school, buddy. They started taking me when I was 5. Uh, I could astral project. I could leave my body, and I would call it flying the bed. I would take the bed, and I would take the bed and zoom out the wall and fly around the neighborhood in my bed at night or whenever.
So it would only happen
And
in your bed?
at first, and then I was told, "You don't have to take your bed,"
Hmm.
you know. And I was like,
It's kind of
"Well,
like
I
training
feel."
wheels, basically.
Basically, and I told her, like, "Well, I feel more comfortable doing this, and this is one of my guides or my higher self telling me myself this. And I'm like, "Well, I feel more secure, and well, next time try it without the bed and see what happens." And okay, I'll try it tonight. And I did. I went outside and I flew around my neighborhood, and it was late, it was dark, and nobody was out, nobody to play with. And I went out and I flew around a street light for a while and said, "Oh, this is boring," and went back home.
It's like a moth.
Absolutely. Moss syndrome, buddy, straight to the light. And, you know, um, after a week or two of this, I woke up one morning and my brother was at the foot of my bed. And he said, "Hi, how are you?" In a very calming voice. And I said, "Oh, good, David. What's up?" "I just wanted to talk to you. I miss you. I wanted to speak to you." "Okay, about what?" "Well, about your life, about some of the things that are going to happen to you." And I said, what are you talking about?" He says, "Well, I know certain things, and I want you to know throughout your life that certain things will happen to you, and I want you to remember this conversation that we're having right now, to know that what you know in your heart is true, and that these things are real and actually happening to you." It's okay, but things like what? He says, well, things like you're going to want long hair all your life. He says, but your hair is very fragile, frays at the end, and you don't take good care of it. And it'll be gray before it ever gets long. He
Sheesh.
was absolutely right. Um, said, you're going to break your back, and it's going to be awful. He says, you're going to come close to death, but you're going to survive it. And he said, the doctor is going to be on cocaine, and he's going to start hallucinating that he's a butcher and you're a hog. And I said, that's horrible. And that happened. Yeah, that
And just to ask real
happened.
quick, when you're speaking with your brother, had your brother passed away? Was this a visitation or was this your brother alive?
My brother was asleep in the other room. This is a fucking entity dressed up as my brother, wearing clothes from a school picture of him in the kitchen, Ty. Okay. He was in black Levi pants, a leather belt, and a black, red, and white, basically black with red and white pinstripes. I see you got chills. Sorry.
Dude, I
But
chills, crying, my vision's like bouncing. I don't the stripes. We'll return to the stripes where we need to come back to the
okay.
Nephilim and the stripes.
All right.
Continue, but
Yeah.
that
So
just made me
I'm.
want to open the door to my studio just so I could
Yeah.
hear someone in the other room. Fuck,
Yeah,
continue.
buddy.
I'm sorry. I'm
This
sorry.
shit's real. This shit's
Fuck.
real. Oh, did you see the shadow over my head?
I was busy
Yeah,
worrying
yeah,
about my
man.
own, dude.
Uh,
I got a
Pretty
big
sure I
black
did
TV in
that.
front of me, and I've
Yeah.
told you before about my fucking around with black mirrors, and I'm not saying shit's happened. I'm just saying that
No, I
people
get it.
don't
And
realize how this shit works, I
yeah,
because
no,
I want
no,
this
they
channel
do.
to be for like normal people to have a
Right.
view into the shit that you and I have seen and dealt with, because
Yeah.
I really do kind
Yeah.
of have to dance around it to sound sane in other conversations, but this
No, I
is
understand.
we exist alongside other realms. We do,
Yes, we do.
and who cares
Yes,
about
we
sounding
do.
bad shit if the world might get nuked tomorrow? Really, who
That's
cares?
exactly. So let me wrap up this section here.
Yeah, please do.
And he's telling me that that I'm going to get married and that my son was going to be killed, that he was going to be hung, and that I was going to break my back, that I was going to, and I started going, "You're not my brother," I told him. "Who are you? Who are you?" And he looks and he went like this. He said, "Just a moment." And he turned his head sideways like this. See his lips moving. Can't hear a word he's saying. He looks back at me and he says, "Larry, I have to go now." And whoosh, he was gone. It's like grabbed his feet, yanked him underneath the fucking bed. Boom, he's gone. He's fucking gone. And
Why am I crying right now? I'm
because
literally like tearing up from this shit. Like
you
you
know
told me
it's
all this
real.
horrible shit and I've been fine till now. Like
Yeah,
there's something
well,
fucking weird about that.
that's because it's true. It's the truth. You can't imitate the truth, buddy.
Hmm.
Now,
I believe you.
when this happened, I I froze. I was, oh man, I got goosebumps. I was terrified. I went under my covers for a while. I kept poking my head out to see if they were there, and they were going to get me. And and then I finally got the strength to get up, you know, and I went and I ran to my brother's room and he's asleep and I threw open the door and I jumped on the bed and I started punching him in the fucking head. How dare you scare me like that? Blam, blam, blam. And I'm fucking my brother up. He's 6 years older than me.
Jesus.
And he's running from me. And I am like on him like a fucking cheap suit, right? And then all hell breaks loose in the house. Dad
Yeah.
gets up, mom's up.
And that's how
And
fucking demons work. They
Yeah,
get into your
exactly.
conscious, they get you to freak out, and then they activate you into causing chaos and feed on that energy.
Dude,
That's what they
when,
fucking
when
do.
I was when I was crawling before I could walk, these things are fucking talking to me, telling me grab the key, grab mom's key, stick it in the hole in the wall,
Mhm.
right? The plug, yeah. Stick it in the plug, trying to get me to kill myself, right? So
Take
these
you
fucking
before
things
your
have been trying
time, distract you from your mission.
trying to kill me. So whatever it is I'm supposed to do right now, and I'm telling you, I'm doing it by talking to you people. This is what I'm supposed to do, okay, is to tell this story. And oh man, so mom starts chilling everybody out. She wants to know. He was in bed. He couldn't have done it. What was he wearing? And she goes, I'll go look for the clothes. And I went out of the kitchen. I said, that's what he was wearing. That's what he was wearing right there. Honey, no, he wasn't. Yes, he was. He was wearing that. Sweetheart, he wore through that shirt last summer. I threw it away months ago. He doesn't have that shirt anymore. So it went through my house. It got the most trusted person in my life, my brother, and imitated him in order to gain my confidence.
I
30
I want
years
to.
later,
Sorry.
30 years later, I'm told my mother watched the same thing happen with my aunt Jerry. 5 sisters. They all been dead for 10, 15 years. And Jerry, still kicking. Yeah, same thing happened to her. So, yeah, you know, and after that happens, the next day, Ty, I would wake up with melodies in my head, songs interlacing, sound, Beethoven, Bach, Tchaikovsky, everything going through my head, frequencies, right? Which is healing, which is sound heals. Sound can hurt, sound can heal, sound can blow something up, right? So
Mhm.
it's a form of healing as well as light. Light can also heal or hurt or
Absolutely.
harm. So working
It's a
together,
weapon.
light,
Depends on how you use it.
yes, for good or for evil. And that's it. People ask me, what's the Bible all about? What's the key to the universe? Positive and negative.
Mhm.
Really, that simple. Absolutely. It's what one you choose, good or bad.
Babadook isn't real, Samuel. It's just something you've made up in your stupid little head.
I just didn't want you to let it in.
I'll make sure nothing gets in tonight. All right, Samuel? Let me in, you little shit!